here's the thing. So you all have to know that Jerome asked me to marry him.
When?
My husband's name is Jerome.
Oh. I thought it was
30 years ago. He asked me 30 years ago.
Oh my gosh. I thought it was about the Jerome, like something he did.
I know.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, just look at him. Look at him smiling right now. He's just like.
Well, Jerome has 4 children. I have 6. That's 10. That's a big family.
That's like a full basketball game.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, we are excited to hear from Jerome today. Eway contacted Jerome and asked him to address our group. Eway, thank you so much. What made you think about contacting Jerome?
Well, so I was thinking that in short-term rentals, a lot of people have social media accounts for their Airbnbs or for their company or whatever it is. And this is like I feel like in real estate, it's a relatively new thing for people with social media accounts. And especially as we get into like direct bookings, or if you're trying to take your own bookings or a different way of marketing, this is something that would be helpful to know, like how do you grow, not just grow your account, but, the purpose of marketing is to get sales. So it's not just about getting all the followers and making it look nice, but it's like, are you getting results from social media? So I think that's something Jerome has talked about previously, and something I would like for him to talk about today is just to talk about, as you're starting out on social media, on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever platform you are on, like what are some things you can do? How do you direct traffic? How do you get bookings? Like, how do you get results from social media versus like, I just want to get likes or followers, which is what a lot of people look to versus getting results.
Well, that is the wonderful reason to contact him. And whenever we're ready, I'm going to introduce him and talk about his formal introduction. And so you just let me know when you're ready for me to go, Eway.
Oh, I think you can get started.
Okay, so first of all, if you want to know more about Jerome Lewis, it's simply jeromelewis.com. Hey, so here's his bio, folks. It's really good. Jerome Lewis is a #1 national best-selling author. He is the lead host of Remarketing Podcast and the author of 2 books, one being the Ultimate Video Marketing Guide book for real estate entrepreneurs, and another, the Remarketing or Real Estate Marketing Insider Secrets of Successful Advertising, Lead Generation, and Marketing Implementation for Real Estate Entrepreneurs. Now that was a mouthful, but it is on his website. So he is the founder and CMO, which is the Chief Marketing Officer of Digital Real Estate Strategy, a tech and marketing agency that helps busy but serious real estate entrepreneurs implement, structure, and systematize their tech, lead generation, marketing, and business systems. Jerome has helped over 5,000 real estate entrepreneurs from more than 40 states and 4 countries. Jerome has shared stages with some of the real estate industry's national experts, including ranging from Vina Jones-Cox, Krista Marshore, Mark Heffron, I might be messing these names up, but Matt Faircloth, and the legendary Ron LaGrange, and many more. Jerome is a bold introvert, So that is an interesting combination of words. A bold introvert, father, and former IT professional. In 2021, Jerome won the EXP University Instructors of the Year Award. He is a social media mastermind where he teaches real estate investors and agents tech and marketing implementation. So that is the introduction is very impressive, Jerome. Thanks for coming to speak to us, and you can have the floor now.
Thank you, Norma. I really appreciate you. All
Thank
right,
you.
so today what we're going to do is we're going to learn about some lead generation, some social media, and I have like my presentations are very, what do we call it? They're very intense, right? So I want to prepare you for the presentation. It's not just a lecture; it's a little bit interactive, and sometimes it can even turn into a workshop. So my objective is not to give you a workshop today, but I want to give you as much value as possible. And I also have some examples. I'm going to call on. I teach like the social media mastermind that Norma mentioned. I teach that class. I co-host that class with someone on the call, co-remember. I'm going to call on her and get her insight a couple of times as well. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen, and I like my presentations and my interactions to be a little bit um, engaging. So I'm going to request. We have 49 people. I just want a little bit of interaction in the chat box. I want at least 50% engagement. So what I like to do is, if you're ready to proceed, please type yes in the chat for me so I can know and we can get started, right? It also helps me pace, right? People tell me I talk a little bit too fast. So I want to be able to pace and give you enough value. So type in that chat, let me know. And as soon as I see 50%, we're off to the races. Awesome. Good to see the yeses. Appreciate all of you, right? So this is, again, it's interactive and engaging. It's not just a lecture. I want to involve you, right? And I have a little quote that I like to reference so you can understand why I like to talk about that engagement and that involvement, right? You learn a little bit better when you're engaged and when you're involved. So next thing I need you to do, if you can see my screen, there should be a blue screen. I want you to type yes in that chat for me. I need at least 50%, and then we can proceed, please. Awesome.
So while
All right.
we're waiting for that 50%, if you guys have questions, Jerome, do you want them to ask directly or raise your hand or wait until we do a pause?
Let's do some pauses. Let's see. Yeah, when we have a pause, we'll do that, right? And
Okay.
Yue, if you can, if the I want the questions to be relevant. So if it's relevant to that particular slide or that subject that I'm addressing at that time, feel free to stop me and ask that question. If it's not relevant, we'll
Okay.
hold it towards the end.
Sure.
All right. So I see 50% in the chat. We are going to get started. So this presentation is what you need to know to generate more bookings for your short-term rentals. Norma gave my formal introduction. I'm going to give you a little bit of an informal introduction just so you know who's talking to you and just so you understand my delivery style, right? So Norma talked, she said, bold introvert, right? I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert, trust me, but I like to speak, I like to talk, I like to teach. So that's where that combination comes from, right? I'm an introvert, but I'm not afraid to speak up. All right. So Norma gave that she gave my introduction, and I didn't even know this until now, but all of these pictures you see here, these are some of those speakers that I mentioned that I shared the stage with and some of the stuff I've done. So most of us here, we know Vina. You can see in the upper right, like that purple, me and Vina, we're in that purple. So all right, this is me, right? I am in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. I used to be a wholesaler, like primarily. I don't do that as much anymore. I've since delegated, and I now have like an operation that runs that. Just mentioning that for our real estate investors. Next, I like to let people know that I'm silly, right? I have a goofy side because most people know me for my serious side, right? Additionally, I am a millennial. I'm a proud millennial. I heard people taking some shots at the millennials a little bit earlier, but I'm a proud millennial. I like to claim that. Next, I am a technologist. I'm pretty good with technology. And there we go again, that introvert, right? So there's what's called the Myers-Briggs test. I take that test and it always comes out introvert. So I'm an introvert at the core. And you already know I'm an international speaker. Next, There is a behavioral assessment that I like to reference so you can understand how I'm coming to you, my tone, my delivery, right? That assessment is called DISC. It explains business behaviors and business personalities. I am a high D, high C. What that means is I am very result oriented, right? So I care about the bottom line and helping you get results. In addition to that, I'm very detailed. When you combine those two, you get an implementer. So I'm really good at implementation and I'm really good at helping you implement, right? I also run a marketing agency. Like Norma said, you can check me out on my website personally at jeromelewis.com. And then, like, this is like one of my best accomplishments. Yes, I am a number one best-selling author. I published a book, and I'll talk about that a little bit throughout the presentation. Here we go. You see, this is EXP University Instructor of the Year. So I also teach a weekly mastermind where we go over social media and different strategies. And we won, right? My co-host Beth Ellen, she's here. We both won Instructor of the Year of out of I think like 60 instructors. So it's something that I like to bring up so you can understand the information that's coming to you. All right. So again, my presentations, I like them to be interactive. So I'm going to call on you. I need that 50%
Excuse me,
engagement.
Jerome.
Yes.
You forgot to mention you're a Corey member.
Oh, right, right. And I am a Covey member, and Covey is one of my favorite groups. I get a lot of value from this group. I've been to Ohio once or twice, but I make sure I'm a member to Covey and the virtual programs because it's so much value there, right? I always tell people that they don't charge enough. $249 or $250, the value that you get, I don't think they charge enough. So yeah, it's one of my favorite groups. Proud Covey member. All right. So let's get back the interaction and engagement. What I need from you is I need you to type yes in that chat. Let me know when we're ready to proceed because we're about to go fast and I want to make sure we are pacing ourselves. So please type yes in that chat so I know you are ready. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, so here's what we're doing. These trainings are I want them to be interactive and engaging, right? Because that's the best way to learn. So these are some tips for you to get the most out of the trainings and the content that I'm bringing you today, right? Number one, take advantage of screenshots, right? So right here, you see on my screen, you see like two icons, right? And these icons represent different things. One icon is links, right? So my slide presentations, they have links littered throughout the entire presentation. And those are links and resources that you can click on later when you collect the slides. So I have to submit the slides to Bev a little bit later, and you're going to use the slides as a guide and a reference for you to go through some of this stuff. Next, screenshots, right? Anytime you see this camera icon, these are emoji. Anytime you see that camera icon, it's suggested that you take a screenshot of that particular slide. All right. Next, I know that Covey, they have a policy about their recordings. And again, this is going to be like a bit of an intense presentation. So y'all might have to petition to get that the recording so you can watch it a little bit later because it's hard to retain, so much information sometimes. So collect the recording, collect the slides so you can go through this at your own time too. Again, anytime you see this link here, that is a link in a resource. So when you collect the slides a little bit later, you can click on that link as a resource. I have links throughout that reference articles, reference resources, videos, all kind of content that you can use in your business while you're going through the presentation. There we go. Bev said the presentation will be available, so no petition necessary. All right, next. So this is why I said I want to make sure I want to encourage interaction, right? Because the more you interact and engage, the more you learn. And this is a quote from Benjamin Franklin. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me, I learn and I learn, right? I like to bring up that quote because the best way that you learn anything is to involve yourself and learn. Go out there, take action, implement. Next, these are links and resources. I want you to, you can click on these a little bit later, but I have this little, like this YouTube trick that I like to use that helps you digest content a little bit faster. So this is a link to that, and you can click on that a little bit later. I have I have a YouTube channel where I list a bunch of different trainings and some of my podcast interviews are there. And then I also have a Facebook group. You can click on those later if you're interested. This is my book and I have a pretty nice foreword in there that references Vina. I could not make it $0 on Amazon, so it is 99 cents. If you're interested, you can kind of scan that QR code or you can search for it on Amazon. So I'm going to pause right here for a second. You can get the digital copy on Amazon for $1 if you scan that code, or you can just go type it in Amazon. All right, before we I want to pace myself. Please type yes in the chat. I need that 50% engagement. Type yes if you're ready to proceed. Norma's first. Mr. Cleveland, Hezekiah, these are familiar names. All right, so before we get started, I always like to reference in the beginning of my classes, I like to reference some social media stats. And these are some very interesting stats that everyone should consider in this business, right? So these are the stats, and I'm going to advise that you take a screenshot of this, right? Let's read through them really quickly. Sales rep who are active on social media, 45% more sales than those who aren't. Sales rep that use social media, 51% more likely to hit their quota. 78% of salespeople who use social media perform better than their peers, right? So I teach agents like all across, right? And the most successful ones, they all have some version or some presence on social media. Social media is vital. It's important. Like it's like nearly free marketing. Norma, to screenshot, it depends on your keyboard, but typically there is a key on your board that says print screen, and you can just press that. If you can't figure that out, what you want to do is take out your phone and just take a take a picture of the screen. That's the quick and dirty. All right, and usually I'm addressing like realtors, but this is the top lead generation tool for people in the business, right? Realtors. It's the top tool for lead generation. So I know we got a combination because we're all real estate entrepreneurs. I know we have some real estate agents on this call. Next, these are some video marketing stats. I am a huge advocate, huge proponent, whatever you want to call it, for video marketing. These are some stats that help you understand the importance of video marketing, right? And I advise take a screenshot of this as well. The one stat that I really appreciate on this screen is that whenever you have video content, people are 12 times more likely to share that video content compared to all of the other content out there, right? So that's one of the ways that you really level up your marketing, right? You get people marketing for you by sharing your content. Times 12, that's a big number. Big number. And then this is not necessarily relevant to you as investors, but it's relevant for you to understand, right? 85% of buyers and sellers prefer video. This is directly from National Association of Realtors, but less than 40% of agents use video. And I'm pretty sure even less investors use video in their marketing and their social media strategy. Right, so keep that in mind. Like, you're going to hear me talk about video a few times. Like, video is highly important. It's one of the best ways to separate yourself and stand out from other people out there. All right, so let's get into the presentation. What you need to know to generate more bookings for your short-term rental. I want to pace myself. Please type yes in that chat. I need that 50% engagement in order to proceed. Awesome. Appreciate you. So here's what we're going to do. Who is this for? We're going to talk about who this is for. Then we're going to get into some fundamentals of marketing, right? Who can use this marketing? I want to set expectations, right? Because sometimes people come in with the wrong expectations, right? So who is this for? This is not for people that are inconsistent. It's not for people that have unrealistic expectations. It's not for people that are unwilling to try, right? I want to set those ground rules. That this is not, don't expect anything overnight success, something for nothing. This is not for those type of people. This is business, and it's going to take some risk. It's going to take some investment. You're going to have to invest value into other people. So who is this for? Who is it for? It's for people that are patient, consistent, realistic, and practical, right? I'm really big on being realistic and practical because it matters in business. And then it's for people that are willing to take action and implement. So really quickly, I want to survey the audience, right? I want to ask you, from your perspective, is marketing necessary? Type yes or no. Let me know what you think about marketing. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, awesome. I see the yeses. So I think we all agree that marketing is necessary. Next, I want to ask, like, from your perspective, why is marketing necessary? Just give me your perspective. There's no right or wrong answer. Promote your business, Imran. I like that answer. If you don't have customers, you don't have a business. Yes, Norma, I like that. Get the phone to ring. June. Okay, these are some good answers. So I agree. And I always like to say, I don't know if it's necessary to understand marketing, but we all like the full process of marketing, but we all understand that marketing is necessary and it's important to our business, right? So, what we're going to talk about today, we're just going to talk about some overall marketing concepts and why this matters to your business. All right, so we're going to talk about what is marketing. We're going to define marketing, but before we do that, oh, we're going to talk about what, so I want to talk about what marketing is not, right? So, marketing defined. What is marketing? Marketing is the process, right? I want to emphasize the process. Marketing is the process or activity of getting prospects interested in your company, product, service, or brand, right? So we underline and bold two words after the word marketing, and that's process and activity. Marketing is not something that you do one time. It's not something you do one time and you stop, right? So a lot of times people say it doesn't work. Social media didn't work. Direct mail didn't work. Cold calling didn't work. You only did it one time, two times. You have marketing is a constant process. You must be consistent with your marketing. All right. With that being said, I have I guess we call it a framework that I like to reference, and I call it the simplest way to a simplified perspective on marketing, right? And I like to break down marketing into three generic phrases because it makes it a lot easier for people to understand, right? So, those three phases of marketing, right? I call it the least confusing way to think about marketing. Those three phases are number one, lead generation, right? Typically, lead generation, we're dealing with cold traffic. And that's the most marketing that we do. You're going to see a slide a little bit later where we do all of the lead generation and we fail to hit the next phases, which are number two, lead conversion. Lead conversion and follow up. That's warm traffic. Now people understand that they know about your business. It's time for you to convert them and follow up with them. But a lot of us fail to do that. This is the part that we're missing most, the follow up, right? So that book that we referenced a little bit earlier, that the lack of follow up that we do as business professionals, that's what inspired me to write that book. That's the name of that book, remarketing, right? Because we're remarketing, we're retargeting. Then it's a play on the word real estate, RE. Next, retention and referrals, right? So we all want those referrals, but we don't do the work before the referrals, right? We don't do number two, the lead conversion. So we want the referrals, we want those hot leads, but we don't do the work to get them to being hot leads and people referring our business and what we do. We're going to talk about some ways that you can do that today. All right. So what is a lead? What should qualify as a lead? Well, first, what a lead is not. A reality check about leads. Every conversation that you have with someone is not a lead, right? The way I like to qualify leads is leads aren't some people on a list somewhere. You download a list from who knows, PropStream or YellowLetters.com, or you did a social media campaign. Those do not qualify and count as leads just yet. There are two important aspects of a lead. A lead is a prospect, customer, or client that has shown interest in buying your product or service, right? So most of us here, we either serve someone or we have some product, right? Number two, this is a key component of leads, right? You've collected their information, right? You collected their information, and why do you need to collect their information? So you can follow up with them, so you can remarket and you can retarget that lead, right? And we're talking about social media today. We're going to talk about one specific platform, but this is why social media is so powerful once you start to utilize it correctly, because it allows you to remarket, retarget, and follow up pretty easily. Remember and understand that leads aren't some foreign business or marketing thing. Leads are people. So let's keep that in mind when we're talking about leads and we're trying to generate this stuff, right? It might seem like numbers and data and statistics, but behind that stuff, it's people. And people can be irrational. So there are certain processes that we have to take them through. We have to remind them what we're doing, what our service, what our product is. Now, I like to, this is a tool that I use to research like online. I've researched like certain keywords. And the basis of the purpose of this slide is to show you and emphasize how much work we do, like how much lead generation we do. We have 12,000 count. People are searching for the word lead generation at least 12,000 times per month. But when it comes to lead conversion and lead follow up, it's less than 1,000 combined. So we're dropping the ball. We're dropping the ball on our lead generation, our lead conversion. We're dropping the ball on our entire marketing process by not following up with leads, by not putting them through a conversion process. So what is lead generation? Very similar to what we talked about on marketing, right? The definition. Lead generation is a ongoing process, right? So we're talking about that process thing again, or activity. We're talking about activity again. It's not something that you do one time. So lead generation is the ongoing process or activity that brings interested prospects into your offer, product, service, or business. After you establish your offer, that's when your lead generation starts. So a lot of times people come in, they don't have a clear offer, and they start marketing. You can't market if you don't have a clear offer. These are some ways, I like to call it ways to make your marketing ongoing. So there are basically two kinds of marketing that you can do on social media in general, right? You got the organic strategy, which is you put in the time, you put in the effort, right? Like these days, it's common for you to do like a goofy dance to try to catch somebody's attention with like TikTok or Instagram Reel, right? That's why people are doing those things, because they have to put in that time and effort, and they have to stand out. They have to stand out. So that's organic. Next, paid. This is like my favorite. And we're going to talk about this a little bit today, but we're not going to go into too much detail. We have a former presentation that I did for that we did for, what's the national conference? I forget the name. But you can check that out.
Oria?
Oh, RIA, right. So we have a more formal presentation where we go directly into paid strategies on ORIA. You can check out that presentation for more detail on how to apply the paid strategies. It's still relevant, right? So today we're going to focus mostly on the organic stuff, like setting up your profile, making it look nice. Ideally, right? This I do a combination of both. Ideally, you want to do a combination of both. You want organic as well as paid. And I call it just a hybrid, right? You want to have a combination of paid as well as organic. Why you need lead generation? These are some reasons why I think that lead generation is relevant, right? So lead generation can do this. It can provide your customers with value. Lead generation will sell for you. It will educate and inform. So it will take people through this process. So by the time they come to you, they already understand what you do, what your service does, or what your product does, how it can help them. So this is why you need lead generation. Lead generation will also bring you predictability. It's going to help you understand, how many leads do I need to get 5 people into my short-term rental? How many leads do I need to get 10? What's the budget, right? It gives you clear goals and objectives. It helps you get some numbers, some data, and some statistics. All these things makes your business more predictable. It also gives you structure. And then lastly, it increases, right? So like Norma, she did like my bio. Like that's part of marketing. It helps you understand my authority and my expertise, right? So lead generation, this is going to help you. It's going to help people understand your authority, your professionalism, your credibility, and your expertise. All right, so I need to pace myself. Please type yes in that chat if we are ready to proceed. And if anybody has any questions thus far, feel free to open up your mic and ask.
You need his last 4, right? Okay, I'll text it.
Norma, you're unmuted. All right, all good. All right, so no questions. Which social medium are we going to talk about today, right? Well, first we're going to talk about the most popular social mediums, right? So, number one, we got Google and YouTube, and these are not social media platforms per se. However, they have social media flares, social media aspects to them. Meta, Instagram, and Facebook, these are all one company. And I put them all on the same line because they all fall under the same company, right? So, Facebook, we all know Facebook as Facebook, but they recently changed their name. The parent company changed the name and they changed it over to Meta. Next, they own Instagram. So a lot of times people get hyped and caught up in Instagram with their marketing. And if you utilize Facebook correctly, you don't even have to really think about Instagram because your marketing will go over there automatically. We got TikTok. So we talked about those dances and stuff like that. You got TikTok is really known for people dancing. I'm not saying that's the only thing that they do over there, but that's what it's known for. Dances. It started off as a dancing platform. I think I forget what the name of Bite Dance or something like that. Yes, Facebook also owns WhatsApp. Charles nailed it. So next we got LinkedIn. And then we have Bing. And Bing is not social media either, but it's a search engine. And I like to bring it up and reference it because of Google. Next, most popular social media networks worldwide. And this came out October 2021. I like to bring this up and reference it because sometimes people get distracted by trends, right? And we're in the business to make, we're in business like Yiwei was saying. We're here for results, not popularity or vanity matrix. We want some results. We want bookings. We want listings. We want to generate business from social media. So these are what you see here. This is the popularity of social media. And Facebook, they're 2.8 billion, right? Monthly users. And it's the largest social media platform, right? Out of all of these, if we scroll down to Instagram, Instagram only has half the audience of Facebook. They only have half the audience of YouTube. So people get caught up in the wrong things sometimes. Then we go all the way to the bottom to TikTok. Same idea there. And it's growing, but still, generally, it's half the audience of Facebook and YouTube. Charles, yes, you get the slides, Charles. All right, so here's I like to say, like, beware of your audience and your target. It's important to understand who you're going after, right? Just because it's trendy doesn't mean you should be using it. And this is a graph that I pulled from the Pew Research Center, and it shows the percentage of adults, right? Adults that use these platforms. These numbers, and all the way up top, we see YouTube and we see Facebook. 81% of adults are on YouTube, 81% and 69% are on Facebook. Then we go all the way down to Instagram, only 40%, and then TikTok is 21%. So those platforms, TikTok and Instagram, the reels and the trendy stuff, they're very trendy and very popular, but keep in mind, not a lot of adults are using them necessarily. The kids are making them popular. The children, the younger generations are making them popular. And why that matters? Because we're going after people that have purchasing power, people that have houses, right? We want to target those people, not the kids. We want to get business. So older people, they have more money, right? Who has money? Older people. So I introduced myself a little bit earlier. I told you I was a millennial, right? And I just now start getting money. So I wasn't even able to purchase when I was, 30 years and younger. I didn't really have the purchasing power. I didn't understand this stuff. I didn't have a house, so it's no point of marketing to me. You can't buy my house as a millennial. But the older people, they have money. They have purchasing power, and they own most of the houses, right? Baby boomers own most of the market. So you can talk, oh, I'm bored, I'm tired, I don't want to go on Facebook. Doesn't matter about you. Matters about your audience. Those older people are on these other platforms, these old, not so trendy platforms. All right, so typically I like to compare the two most popular platforms, and that is Facebook/Meta/Instagram, right? And then that's Google and YouTube. And people always ask which is better. Neither is better. And you can kind of Google and you'll find that neither is better. They both have pros and cons. You can win with either one. Just pick one and stick to it. Stick to it. So, neither is better. Now, these are some benefits of each. So, Google and YouTube, they are intent based platforms. And what that means is that people come to Google and YouTube with a specific intent. I'm searching for, as an example, how to sell my house, or another example, Airbnb. I'm searching for those things. So, I have the intent to buy or research that thing. Google and YouTube, those are intent based platforms. People are searching on those platforms. People will say that it's more expensive, and there is some truth to it, right? Those leads cost a little bit more, but they also come with a higher quality because the intent is there. However, one of the cons of YouTube is that it's more complex. Google and YouTube is more complex to learn. Next, we got Meta and Facebook, and this is what we're going to focus on today because it's easier to learn, and most of us are familiar with it, right? It's also the most popular. So, the kind of platform that Facebook is it's a disruptive platform. So remember, I was making fun of those people and they're dancing and trying to catch your attention. The reason why they're doing all of that stuff is because it's a disruptive platform. You have to disrupt their experience to catch their attention. That's the kind of platform that YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram is. You have to disrupt the experience to get them to click on your ad or take you up on your offer. However, you get more time and frequency compared to Google and YouTube. It's also more inexpensive, typically, right, with quotes around it. And it's a display network. Google has a display network, but it's, again, Facebook is easier. Facebook is an easier platform to learn. So that's what we're going to talk about, and that's what we're going to focus on today. All right, so part one, we're going to talk about some lead generation fundamentals. And before we proceed, please, I need to pace myself. Please type yes in that chat if you're ready to proceed. Awesome. Awesome. So we got Facebook. What is Facebook? Really quickly, we all know it's social media. It's a social media platform. They have this number is incorrect. They have 2.8 billion monthly users. They own Instagram, right? So I was people, oh, I want to do Instagram. You can do Instagram. That's fine, but it would be more wise to use Facebook and then hit that checkbox so your content can go over to Instagram. I want you to think about, because a lot of people put their feelings into things, and I want you to set your feelings aside for a moment and not think about social media, Facebook or social media as a social media platform. I want you to think about it as marketing and advertising. So we all agree that marketing and advertising was essential. It was important to business. Think about this the same way. This is business. It's necessary to be there. It's going to bring you more business as long as you do it right. So why Meta and Facebook? It's the largest and most popular social medium available. It's the easiest. It makes it easy for you to compete. And the reason, what I mean by that is you can whip out, I talked about video marketing a little bit earlier. It's easy for you to whip out your phone, make a video, tell people what it is that you do in business, and use it as an ad. Use it as marketing. It makes it easier for you to compete. Another thing about social media, why people appreciate social media, because they don't want to be sold to and they want to work with other people. They're getting tired of the large corporations. And one of the ways that you separate yourself is by being social, appearing human, appearing authentic. Next, Facebook has, and they have interest targeting. The other platforms are starting to develop this, but one of the main things that Facebook has, and you're going to learn about this a little bit later. I'm going to call on Bethella, and she's going to tell you about some of it. They have groups, and groups are groups of people, like digitally, I guess we can call it, and they gather around particular interests, hobbies, or subjects, and you can utilize those groups to your advantage. You can take advantage of it with your marketing. I talked about that video marketing a little bit earlier. So I like to compare it to YouTube. When you scroll up, when you go over and you hit YouTube, YouTube is a very competitive space. You're competing for a lot of attention on YouTube, and it can be tough to compete over there. Well, on Facebook, it's not the same. It's very forgivable. You don't have to have such a high production quality on Facebook. Next, Facebook has on average 50,000 data points on each user. Each user, even the people that are not utilizing Facebook and social media. So Facebook got in trouble one time for creating shadow accounts. They would take, let's say me as a profile, for an example, and they would start finding out information about my siblings and my relatives using my profile. They got in trouble for that, but They have a lot of data and a lot of information about you, your interests, etc., etc. All right, so we're going to talk about some of the tools that you need for these strategies today. And to get there, we're going to talk about the assets that you need. And first, we're going to start off with, we're talking about Facebook, right? So you're going to hear me say Facebook and you're going to hear me say Meta. Those are the same company. Those words are interchangeable until they make the full transition. So these are some of the assets that you need. You need, right? You definitely need. So in order to exist on any platform at all, you need a profile. So on Facebook, you at the very least need a basic social media profile. And remember a little bit earlier, I talked about like the links littered throughout. So if you need help with creating a Facebook profile, this is a link directly on Facebook. You click on that link and you go create the profile. The other links will be very similar. These are all links that you can click on when you collect the slides. You need a business page. So a lot of times people try to market their business with just their personal profile, and that's not the most effective way to do it. You need a business page because you're going to be running a business. Next, what you're going to need is you're going to need a business manager. So a lot of us are not just real estate investors. Some of us are agents. Some of us have other businesses. You need the business manager. The business manager helps you separate your different businesses. You need the ads manager. The ad manager is very similar to the business manager, but it helps you manage your ads for your different businesses. And then this is a Facebook has what is called a Meta. They have what's called a pixel, and the pixel is a tracking software or code that you put on your website, and it helps you track people and it makes your advertising a little bit better. So here it is, the official definition. It's a piece of code for your website that lets you measure, optimize, and build audiences for your advertising campaigns. And this is directly from Meta/Facebook. The pixel is highly effective when it comes to remarketing and retargeting. So today we're talking about a lot of lead generation, but there's a follow-up process that we need to follow as well. And the pixel helps you with that follow-up process, the remarketing and the retargeting. The pixel also learns your audience and it helps your marketing just perform better overall. Next, we need some non-Facebook assets. And one of the assets that we're going to need is a website, right? So establish yourself a website. Websites are fairly cheap these days just to get up and going. Those are some recommended softwares that I have for websites. But what's more important here, right? Once you establish your website, one of the most important things, right? And I did a lot of research preparing for this presentation, and it was hard to find like landing pages, right? So something that's important about lead generation and marketing is landing pages. And we're going to go into that in a little bit detail, in much more detail a little bit later. Privacy policy. When you begin marketing, you start collecting these people's information. You're an official business, so there's no more hiding. Guess what? The social media platforms, and they want to know what you're going to do with that customer's information, these prospects' information. So you translate what you're going to do and how your website works with a privacy policy. Next, it is suggested, right? So we're going to talk about mostly organic strategies, and a lot of times people try to cheap out and not apply any paid strategies to their business. And it's possible to do very well with that, but it's not very likely, right? So we want to go after what's possible. So if you want to make it more likely, it's best to establish and have a marketing budget, right? And a marketing budget can be daily, monthly, lifetime. It could be by campaign, but try to establish a marketing budget. Even if it's only $10 a month or something like that, try to have a marketing budget. All right, next, let's pace. Please type yes in the chat if you are ready to proceed. June, Norma, Roxana, Jason. Let's see him come in, y'all. Alan, Susie, Bethelin, Imran. Okay, so let's talk about the importance of landing pages, right? I'm going to deviate a little bit from like Facebook and social media, and we're going to talk about the importance of landing pages because this is vital. What is a landing page? So once you have a website, a landing page is a little bit different from a website, right? A landing page is, in theory, anything is a landing page, but more specifically, what we're talking about today, a landing page is a page that your customer, your prospect lands on, right? It's the page that they land on. So, ideally, we don't want it to be our main website. Why? Because our main website has a bunch of distractions, and one of those distractions that our main website has is a navigation menu. They have navigation menus with a bunch of different call to actions. And typically, what people do, a good book to reference before I go into even more detail, is called Don't Make Me Think. It talks about the importance of giving people one call to action and making online advertising, lead generation websites as simple as possible. So, one of the benefits of having an effective landing page is no navigation menu. Landing pages are clear and direct. They give people one single call to action. It's not find out about me. It's not go visit my other 4 properties, learn about how I can help your business. It's one specific objective, right? So this is the importance of landing pages. It gives you one single call to action because people get lost and confused on websites. You want to give them one target, one objective. And again, I talked about this a little bit earlier. I was looking for Airbnb sites or short-term rental sites with effective landing pages, and I wasn't really able to find any that seemed like they would work, right? Too many of them had too many call to actions and too much stuff, too many things to do. And I want to show you how you can research these things yourself a little bit later. Landing pages are very action oriented. They give you one objective for the most part. Hey, come here and book this Airbnb or book this short-term rental or leave the site. That's it. People only have to make that one decision. They don't have to make multiple decisions. Who is this person? What are they doing? You give them one specific objective. Why use landing pages, right? They're less confusing, less distracting. They increase your conversions. I'm going to show you some stats a little bit later. Their main purpose is conversion. Landing pages are created solely to increase conversions. Successful landing page examples. So these are, I was doing some research and I pulled some stats up, right? These percentages matter because typically when we're running social media, we're running hundreds and even thousands of leads. So these it's going to seem like some of these percentages are small, but they can make a huge difference. Double, triple, quadruple your business, quadruple your leads. So we talked about like that navigation menu on landing pages a little bit earlier. Just by removing the navigation menu from their landing pages, these businesses were able to increase their business by this much percent. So HubSpot, they did 16% increase. They had another offer where they did a 28% increase on the leads and the conversions. We got Yuppie Chef. It's like they did 100% increase just by removing the navigation bar from their pages. Unbounce, 336. Next, conclusion. Landing pages. Landing pages are better for traffic. They're better for conversion. Don't drive traffic without using landing pages. Make sure you use a landing page. All right, so today we're focusing on lead generation. That's all we have the time to go over, right? But this should be good enough. There should be enough value here today. We're going to talk about driving traffic. We're talking organic versus paid, and we're going to go into organic today. Michelle, yes, you will receive the slides. All right, so one thing I want you to understand that, again, this is social media. We're being social. Your objective is to be social, be human, be authentic, right? People want to work with people. Don't hide behind your logo. Don't hide behind your business. Put yourself out there. Be a human, right? We went through 2020 when things were shut down, and all you could hear on these meetings and everything else is, oh, I want to be in person. I want to connect with people. I want to connect with people. That's how people are. They want to connect with other people. They don't really care about your business and your logo. They want to connect with humans and people. Organic lead generation, driving traffic. So organic, and I'm going to call on my partner. She's going to. I told y'all a little bit earlier. We teach classes together, but she shared some photos with me, and I just want you to see these photos, right? I want you to understand, like, know your audience. Because there's a possibility that you can be too professional. You can be too fun. Ideally, what I like to encourage is a mixture, right? I like to encourage a mixture. And Beth Ellen, like co-remember, right? I'm using her because she's a co-remember. She posts and she helped me understand the importance of using a mixture of fun content right? Content that she takes herself personally, as well as professional content and professional pictures. Yes, and Charles, what I mean by too fun is you can have a person that's all serious and they don't want to have any fun. As an example, depending on who you're trying to target, right? Let's say, like Beth Ellen, she likes to use LinkedIn. Let's say she's going after a certain kind of professional, CEO executives. They might not want to have that much fun. That might turn them off. So that's an example, and that's why it's important to understand your audience and your customer, right? So ideally, I'm talking about pictures. Understand your audience, right? And Beth Ellen, are you there? Can you unmute really quickly? Yes. Could
I'm
you
here.
talk about, please, like you always do, could you talk about the importance of mixing up the pictures, the professional and the like taking pictures yourself? Could you talk about that and why you do that?
Okay, so I'm a realtor like Jerome, and I do listings, and I have found that some buyers love professional photographs and go, oh, the listing agent's too cheap to take them. And then the other half of the buyers say, oh, I hate those professional photos. They're staged. I like when the homeowner does it. So for my short-term listings, I do two. I take my own pictures. I took this one here, and then I pay a real estate company that specializes in real estate photography to do professionals, and then I post both to try to keep both groups happy, because you never know. So I have a short-term rental in Vegas that I manage myself. The ones I have in Aspen, somebody else I pay to manage because they're too far away. And Vegas is about fun, and people want to do Instagram-able moments. So I got these at Michael's, and I painted them, and I put them on a white wall. And so it's an Instagram moment that people are in Vegas. And so that's what this picture is about.
Yes, and see what she said there, like that's some of marketing. So it's an Instagrammable moment. That means people are going to take her content and what she's doing, and they're going to share it themselves. Look where I was at. I was at this short-term rental. It was an awesome experience. So now she has extra lead generation, extra marketing going towards her short-term rental, right? These are more pictures that she took that she shared with me and allowed me to use for the presentation. So we're going to talk about organic, right? This is a video. I want you to click on this video a little bit later. I'm not going to play it now because we're like tight on time. But with organic content, you have to get it right, like on the first time, right? So your content has to be really value packed, right? And I make fun of those people about their dancing, and they're doing that because they're trying to get your attention, and you got to nail it on the first try. You must get it right. You get one shot. And again, the content must be high value and rich. But the cool thing about organic is typically it's free, right? It only costs you time. So it's no money involved with organic strategies. All right, so these are some recommended organic strategies for you to implement and employ into your business, right? So what I want you to do is, we talked about like having a business profile. It's important that you have that profile. And what you want to do is, a lot of times people share content directly to their personal profile, which is okay. However, what you want to do, like the more effective way to do it, is you want to establish your business profile and your business content, and you want to share that to your personal profile. And the reason why you want to do that is because it comes with tracking and analytics that you don't get on your personal profile, right? And that's going to allow you to remarket, retarget, and follow up with your leads and your prospects a little bit later. Next, what you want to do is you want to join groups. So I have a slide later. I'm going to show you how Beth Ellen used a group to, get a booking. So these are organic strategies, but join groups. So there are several groups around Facebook/Meta around specific things: skiing, yoga, dog lovers, right? You might have a specific kind of customer that you like to go after, right? Or maybe you don't. Maybe it's geographical groups, moving to Ohio, living in Ohio. But Facebook has a ton of these groups around that you can join, and you can start to market in these groups, right? Of course, you're not going to want to spam in these groups. You got to figure out the rules. Some allow you to post things, some don't. So do that at your discretion. But one of the things that I think, right, I just thought about this for this presentation. One of the things that you're going to do with these groups is you're going to connect with the influencers and the leaders, right? And one of the things that you're going to do, let's say you got that Airbnb, that short-term rental, right? Make an offer to influencer or leader, hey, I'm gonna let you stay in my short-term rental for 2 days if you allow me to post in your group. If you share a testimonial about your experience in the group, right? Make deals. So connect with those people that own these groups, the moderators and stuff like that, and make a deal. I'm going to connect with you. You can stay in my rental for an entire weekend. I just ask that you share your experience, how it was, right? So one day when you got that empty rental, with no vacancies or something like that, offer it to someone for free. It's marketing. Count it as a marketing expense. Start your own group, right? So some groups allow you to do certain stuff, some don't. Start your own group. Maybe you want to start a group around vacation, what to do, right? What to do in Ohio, what to do in Philadelphia, what to do in Vegas. Start your own group. Build that group around these particular hobbies or interests or geographies. Next, start a newsletter. So start a newsletter. I'm going to call on Beth Ellen again because she has like this list that she creates on things to do around Vegas. Beth Ellen, could you talk about that list?
Yes, the blog is called offthevegasstrip.com, and the blog, that's the website, and I'll put it in the chat later. And it's called 4-Letter Friday, the 4-letter word being free fun in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is very expensive. BTS is here, and the tickets start at a couple $100s and go to $1,500. But there's such deep bench of talent here that there's all kinds of cool things to do for free that you wouldn't know if you didn't live here. So every Friday I do a blog and then I post it on LinkedIn. And I have a huge following because even if people aren't coming to Vegas, they're just interested in it. But it helps my short-term rental because it tells them what to do for free all over town.
Thank you, Beth Ellen. And so one of the things I would encourage is like do that list, do that letter. She has like a press, she's like on a bunch of press release lists or whatever. You want to do something very similar. But one of the things that I suggest, right, is you try to make that thing physical and you put it inside of your short-term rentals, right? And you put some marketing material on there. Use a QR code, put your website, put that stuff on there. Give people items that they can actually take and they'll generate you more business too. All right, so this is who you just heard from, Beth Ellen. She joined a particular Facebook group, and this is what she said. I posted my short-term rental in Basalt, Colorado. Beth Ellen, could you talk about that instead of me reading this out?
Okay, so I have 2 short-term rentals in Aspen, and they're very expensive, and the people are very demanding. So I hired a manager to keep these entitled people who are making me good money happy. But I have a loft 12 miles away where the working people live. And I go in the summer, but I rent it when the Aspen Mountain is open. And usually it's Argentinian ski instructors. And so everybody in Aspen, it's because it's so expensive, uses this Facebook group called Rentals and Roommates in Roaring Fork Valley. And so when I bought my loft, so I could go to Aspen and still keep my rentals rented, I just went to this Facebook group and I did my listing. I took the pictures, I described it in this Facebook group, and I said, PM me. And I got 7 or 8 responses the first day from all over the world. And then I rented it to an Argentinian ski instructor and his wife. I rent it from when the mountain opens to close, which is Thanksgiving through April 15th. And they wanted to see what it looked like. Well, I was there. I took my iPad. Most non-Americans have iPhones, so I had to get an iPad. I have a Samsung, but to do this, I bought myself an iPad and I walked through it with them and they fell in love with it. They sent me their security deposit and it worked great. Now I'm going up next week to check it out and give them their security deposit back. And it was that easy. And all I did for free was go to the one group I knew everybody searched. Back to you, Jerome.
Thank you, Beth Ellen. All right, so part 2, right? Part 2 is paid advertising. We're not going to go there today, but I do want to showcase some of the benefits of paid advertising. We are near the end, right? So remember I said these things should be intense, but we're near the end. Paid advertising, right? Like once you nail and you start to get a grip on those organic strategies, you want to get into paid advertising, because what paid advertising does is it multiplies what's already working in your business. So if you're not getting great results, it's going to multiply you not getting great results. If you are getting great results, it's going to multiply that. However, it will bring you more volume, right? So with paid advertising, right, we talked about like the organic strategy. You get one shot. You got to nail it right on the first time. Well, with paid advertising, not so much, right? Because you get multiple shots. They're going to show your ad more than one time. They're going to show your ad a couple hundred times to a couple hundred people, or even up to the thousands and tens of thousands, right? So these are the benefits of paid advertising. Paid advertising is also consistent, right? So you don't have to make those silly videos where you're dancing or trying to catch people's attention. Paid advertising is going to give you consistency, right? It's going to show your ad multiple times. Paid advertising is going to show your ad to strangers and new audiences, right? It's going to target people based off their interests, their geographies, etc., whatever you pick. And we talked about the interest targeting a little bit. You can be even more specific with paid advertising. Paid advertising is also predictable, right? And it's more scalable than the organic methods. So those are some benefits of paid advertising. And again, check out the OVRIA presentation, because that presentation is still relevant on how to run paid advertising to any of your ads. All right, so this is like one of my favorite parts, but Facebook has what is called the Facebook ad library, and you can kind of click on this ad library a little bit later. But I just want to do a quick demo of that Facebook ad library, right? So what you would do is you would click on that link, or you would just go Google the Facebook ad library. So I'm going to grab that link and copy it. And I just want to show you, like I talked about, I was like, look, I was doing some research a little bit earlier. I just want to show you what I was researching and what I was finding, right? So Facebook has this entire library of content that you can search for inspiration and figure out certain things, right? I'm going to come in here, and the phrase that I put in was vacation rentals, and this is how you spy on your competition, get inspiration, etc., right? So I typed in vacation rentals, and you put in whatever kind of keywords you want, but right here you see 3,400 results. So that means you have over 3,400 results that you can research and find out what other people are doing. And something that kind of jumped out to me immediately about all of these results is that they're very corporate, right? And we talked about social media, like how can you stand out and how can you be different? That's one of the ways. Start to use video marketing. Start to use some of your own pictures. Be different so you can stand out. But this is how you research. You can come in here, research, find inspiration. You can grab ad copy, whatever you need. You can come and research your competitors, right? Or other people similar to you on any topic on social media. So this is the entire Facebook ad library. It's a really cool feature that a lot of people don't know about. So I wanted to bring it up and point and show you that this is available and this is out there. You can research whatever you want. If I wanted to research short-term rental ads and like run my own, I come in here, research it, grab some inspiration. Ad copy. What do I say? What do I do? It's all here in the Facebook ad library, right? So let's go back. All right, so that was that's the essence of the presentation. Part 3 is like we talked about paid ads. That's the OVRIA conference. If you want to understand like remarketing and retargeting a little bit better and a little bit more detail, I suggest you go get the book from Amazon. It's only $1. So you can go into more detail on that. All right. This is my contact information. This is how you get in touch with me. These are my phone numbers, my email address. Remember, I said I was an introvert. I really mean that. Please do not call me. Please text me first, and we can make an arrangement to have a conversation if you wanted to reach out to me or something like that. Do we have any questions? Please feel free to open up your microphone and ask your questions. Me, or I'm pretty sure even Beth Ellen would be happy to answer some questions.
So nobody has questions on this for Jerome. Michelle Hunter asks, why did the slides say 28% adults on LinkedIn?
Because that's the percentage. LinkedIn is it's more of a professional network than social media. So not a lot of people stroll over to social media to LinkedIn. Like I don't know the exact answer, but I know from my experience, not all adults are on LinkedIn. It's mostly for professionals.
I thought you were saying that slide in connection with the percentage of children versus adults. That's where I got confused somewhere along that. Yeah, it doesn't make sense that 72% of LinkedIn would be kids. That can't be correct.
Oh, then I don't know. I must have made an error somewhere. Let me see. Give me a minute. Let me find out. Let me think about it.
Sure. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
love to see those slides again. I was kind of confused.
Yeah, you can
about what
collect
that
you can
was.
collect the slides, and that slide there's links there, and it goes into more detail. So maybe I said something incorrectly, but yeah, you can collect the slide. When you collect the slides, all of that stuff is available inside of the presentation.
So the link to where you got the data.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
it's all
Awesome.
there. Yep.
Thanks.
So I am a LinkedIn influencer just because my son, who was an investment banker, was deep into LinkedIn and kind of pushed me into it. And LinkedIn is a social medium for professionals. The median income is 75,000. So if you are appealing to a higher end market, that is where to go. And now that my Las Vegas short-term rental is ready, I am going to promote it on LinkedIn. And I have actually gotten real estate deals from LinkedIn. So it's a really good social medium. And Jerome was talking about nobody's using video. At a LinkedIn influencer Zoom, they had these two shocking statistics. So LinkedIn was a professional find a job place, and then Microsoft spent like 16 billion, I don't remember the number, to buy them, and they've turned it into a social medium because there's so much more money. They're trying to make it a Facebook for professionals. And the two statistics that blew me away were in the post department, 5% of LinkedIn members make posts for the other 95%. So that means you have much less noise on LinkedIn. And this is the number. Jerome really pushed me into video, and now I really like it. And he explained how important it is in his presentation. They said 1% of LinkedIn people use video for the other 99%. And so I've been making more videos on LinkedIn, and they're getting much more views than the views I'm getting on Facebook. So I've just kind of given up on Facebook and moved to LinkedIn. But I don't think kids are on LinkedIn. That's probably just a typo.
Yeah, and I think Alan maybe said it right. I probably said something incorrectly, but he said 20% of adults are on LinkedIn. Makes more sense. That seems like it makes more sense to me. Maybe I said something incorrectly, but again, the link to those slides and all that data it's in the link, so you can read it like yourself. But yeah, it's not 72% of kids. Definitely not that.
So this is what I wanted to ask all of the members. This has been and we're not done yet. This is not the conclusion. I just wanted to say that it has been very enlightening. And also you had Beth Allen, and I thought, I just came to my mind that we have all these members on that attend the focus group. If you put in the chat your name and number, if you would like to contribute some information, maybe we could have like a members contribution type show one time. And so thank you for doing that, Jerome. It was great.
You're welcome. I wanted to emphasize her because I brought her in, and she's a member, and that it makes it more relatable. She always tells a story. I'm not sure because I don't participate in this group all of the time, but she talks about how this group encouraged her to do her first short-term rental.
Okay.
So Bethana, can you talk about that real quickly?
All right. So Joe, I had these two condos in Aspen, and basically, like I said before, I rented them in the winter because I hate snow. I know that's strange if you own an Aspen, and I would go in the summer, and I would just go myself, and it was easy to rent for all that long period of time. And then the pandemic hit, and short-term rentals boomed, so I decided to use those as short-term rentals, and I hired someone because the people are so demanding. And I had no idea how to do it or how to manage this woman, since I've been a landlord since 1980, but new to this group, new to short-term rental. So Jerome said you had to join Corey because they can help you. So I joined just to learn how to manage her. because I don't want her to take advantage of me and I don't know how to do it. So I joined this group a year and a half ago. And this is my favorite Friday of the month beside the classes Jerome and I teach, of course. I have learned so much from this group about how to do short-term rentals. So then I also go to Venus group, and she talked about other ways to find sellers other than the traditional way, which I know as a realtor for 42 years. And using Vina's method, I bought this condo in Aspen from a seller who agreed to finance it for me, just like Vina said. So I got this short-term rental using Vina's techniques after 42 years in real estate, having never done before. And so then I gutted it and remodeled it, and now it's ready for rent. And because I've been in this group, I now have enough knowledge. I'm going to do it myself. Plus, I live here. So my first short-term rental in Vegas, I got from Vina's ideas, and this group gave me the courage to do it myself. So I am a big Corey and this group promoter.
Wonderful.
Glad
wonderful.
to have you.
I remember when you asked about, I'm sorry, Iwe, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I'm glad to have her join us.
Yeah, I remember when you asked about the how you could know about the money that the person was collecting for you at Aspen. Remember that? And I remember saying that you just become a co-host and you can see all of your reservations and all that good stuff. And they even are allowing co-hosts to have more information, because with my short-term rentals, my owners are all co-hosts. They don't do anything other than just have access to the reservations and the guests and all that stuff, but that's how they know how much money they're going to get. So I'm like an open door, so they know. Yeah. And I actually got that idea from you, Beth Ellen, to make sure that I have full disclosure with them. So anybody who wants to, who has a short-term rental, who wants to contribute to the conversation like Jerome and Beth Ann today, put your name and number in the chat. I'll contact you, and we'll do like Iwe, we'll make one of those the focus groups. Everybody can contribute. I think that's a really good idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially because it's mine. No, I'm kidding.
Is it?
Oh, you're possessive. No, I'm just kidding.
Go ahead, Jerome.
I'm finished. I was just picking on you, Sandra. Is it really your idea?
Yeah, right. It was yours initially. I agree with you, Jerome. I'm giving you credit. But this is growth. You know, this is progress. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I appreciate you
offering.
offering.
It was Jerome's idea, everybody. It was Jerome's idea.
It's collaboration. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
So Jerome, like if somebody wants to start their social media account today, what platform should they go on and what should they start doing?
So it really depends on like who you're going after, but for the most part, Facebook is generally a great start for most people because it's easy. It's easy to learn. It's easy to figure out. Most of us have these platforms already, and it's a wide audience there. So there is no absolute best, but generally in my experience and dealing with people trying to learn this stuff, Facebook is the easiest.
So like start a Facebook page, or just post on your personal account?
You would start you would have a personal account, right? And so I would collect the slides and go through the progressions of what we saw and also the presentation today that's being recorded. But you need a personal profile, then you need a business page. And then you start sharing your content from your business page, because that's going to allow you some tracking and some targeting that gets a little bit more advanced. But you can learn that stuff when you couple this presentation with the OREA presentation. I also got some stuff on like YouTube that goes into more detail. But yeah, I would start a personal Facebook profile, and then I would create a business profile, and I would use those in conjunction.
So Jerome, you keep mentioning the OREA presentation. So you presented this, that was in November, this past November.
It was actually, I think it was like 2 years ago now, but it's still relevant.
Oh, is it still up?
I'm pretty sure they have it somewhere.
It's still up.
They got it somewhere.
But it was during COVID when everything was online.
Okay. Well, we can ask.
Yes. And if y'all can't find it, just contact me. I got other presentations where I go into even more detail on how to do those Facebook ads. So,
Can we
and
get
it's
to
free.
those presentations by going to your website, jeromelewis.com,
Those are on YouTube, and they're so
on YouTube?
yeah. I'll drop a YouTube link in the chat, but it's also inside of the slides, like when I did the presentation. So yeah, just YouTube is like all free. I'm not looking for, I'll drop a link, and yeah, all of that stuff is there.
Okay, wonderful.
And then, so let's say somebody
And one of those things that
created an account, created a business Facebook page. What type of content should they post?
So wait, X that again?
So let's say they followed what you said. They created their personal page, created a personal account, and then created a business page. What should they start posting on their business page?
On the
Like what
business,
content?
so on the business page, I would post stuff that's relevant to that business or that particular listing or that short-term rental, whatever, right? But I would do it I would use a formula. So 80-20, the Pareto. I would do 80% like content around the business and what it is, and then I would do 20% content around who you are, fun content, personal content. And
So
I would
I want to add that I would write as exactly what Jerome said, 80% about what's going on around the short-term rental. So the cool things in Vegas that only a local would know, so that you are the digital mayor of this town. And then I do 20% about you and your rental, because people aren't coming for you, they're coming for that place. And no one knows that place better than you.
Yeah, it's sort of like the guidebook that you do on Airbnb, but it is your own personal guidebook. Yeah. So I wanted to ask a question about I forgot because I just said those things, but just give me a minute. Somebody else go and I'll have that question. But I wrote it down. I just got to find it.
So next month we're gonna all share our social media profiles.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's funny. I have a social media promo I did for my book, Free Ride to College. And I did this thing in the middle of the winter. I had on shorts and a tank top, and it was snow, and it was, when you talked, you could see the smoke coming out my mouth. It would have been a great one to do for my short-term rental here, because I said, don't be left out in the cold, right? But I think I'm going to use that same video and just dub over the words.
I would do the same thing, and it's different. Nobody else is doing that. It's unique.
And I got so many new students from that. Families, because I help families get full rides to college. So that's what I did on Facebook. And I didn't do that for my short-term rentals. But at the time, you have to grow to, in my mind, you have to grow to really need that. But I'm at that point now because I have several units that I have, and I need to keep them full. So yeah.
So with your units, do you put like your books inside?
No, I take that back. I have sold some books through those units, but I wasn't intentionally doing it. But yes, I did. I'll tell you another thing I sold in those units. People want to buy my artwork off the walls. And so
see, Selena, this is what we were talking about this yesterday, because her brother paints these artwork of like Cincinnati or people or something. And I told her that she should put it in her furnished rentals and just put like a QR code on it. If they want to buy it, just go to this website or something, and you never know.
Yeah, I've seen her brother's work. It's beautiful.
Oh, now there's artwork of Cincinnati, the bridge, suspension bridge, which is the same guy who did the Brooklyn Bridge.
Oh,
so it's iconic. And I was telling him and his wife, who are both artists, that they could do one for each city. That if people want to take it as memento, and because it's all hand drawn. So I post the website.
Yeah, Norma, I would love to get a signed copy of your book, and I would, if I were you, I would start thinking about um, leaving those inside of the unit as marketing material to grow
Okay.
that side of your business, as well as it's like people are going to take that thing and remember you because something I
Sure.
learned is people don't throw away books. If they do get rid of them, they donate them and it lives on forever and ever. So I would start thinking about like just leaving like a couple, inside of there so people can take this as complimentary as a marketing expense.
I
And
even
maybe
have
maybe even staple some business cards in there or something, let them know what else you do, but they're going to take that book.
Wonderful idea. Thank you so much,
You're
Jerome.
welcome.
That's the second thing you come up with today.
I have Jerome's book in my short-term rental in Vegas.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so we have a couple hands up, and I want to get to them before we
And
end.
we have like
So
4 minutes left.
It's I think Sunny first, and then we'll do Barbara.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, I was just wondering, for anyone that's interested in learning more about short-term rentals and how to get started and all that kind of stuff, is this a good group to do this on Fridays? You guys do this every Friday?
Yes. Didn't you hear the story from Beth Ellen?
Every second Friday of the month. Every second Friday of the month at noon. And if you want to come to the new investors group, we have a new investors focus group. I'm going to be speaking about short-term rentals for novice. That's this Thursday coming up at, I think it's 6:00. It's on the calendar.
Okay.
It's on the Corey calendar.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but we have like multiple topics that we talk through, and we rotate that every month. So this one's just about social media, but going forward, there's different topics every month.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Barbara, go ahead.
Sorry, I had to unmute. Is it possible to get the QR code for the book from Amazon? I thought I had it done. It did not download. And I tried to get it the last time you put it up and you went too fast. Couldn't get my phone and my camera up in time. And is that possible to get that again?
I dropped a link in the chat. You can click on that really quickly and it should be a little bit easier.
For that. I got it. Thank you.
Norma.
Thank you.
May I have a copy of your book, please? You got me? Okay.
I got you.
All right. Barbara, let's try to get to your question.
Oh, that was Barbara.
Oh, okay.
I think Michelle had her hand up, but then she dropped it. So I think that's all the hands we have. If anybody else has anything, feel free to jump in.
Just wanted to share how enlightening this is to learn about things from a digital marketing point of view, since I really never emphasized that too much in my slow ascent into the world.
Thank you. Norma, Yue, I will send over the slides to Bev so she can post them on the website. And again, people will probably need to like rewatch the recording. So Bev said it will be available. So that's all I have. I appreciate you all for having me. Thank you so much. Thank you, Beth Ellen, for helping me. Norma, I appreciate you. Yue, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks to you for coming and speaking, and then thanks to everybody for joining. And we will see you next month in May. And don't forget about the day on the Capitol with Corey and Ria. If you haven't signed up for that and you want to know about regulations or any other things in the works that is going to impact you as a housing provider or short-term rentals, please join that as well.
When is that? Or where can we find the information, Ewa?
I would look on the RIA website as to how to sign up. I know it's in May.
Okay. And it's called what again?
It's called Day on the Capitol. I will be there because I know Ohio is trying to get a law passed that prohibits bans on short-term rentals. which is a hot topic right now in Ohio because a lot of areas don't like that. They want to create their own laws. So that's one thing, if you're in Ohio, that is good for you to speak up on. And then I believe there's other housing provider laws that are in the works as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. I will be there. And thank you so much, Jerome. You were fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Looking for my book.
You're the most talkative introvert I've ever met.
I know, that's what they say, but I'm truly an introvert. I'm going to go and ball up in the corner now that I've done all this talking.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just joking. But thank you, Marma. I really appreciate you, and your hair looks so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll have to have you on next time again.
Right? Yeah.
All right, everybody have a good weekend.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.